everybody, Michelle McClunan, astrologer and life navigator. Why I call myself a life navigator is that I look at the planetary or the cosmic energy to see how it's aligning with our own journeys as humans living on planet Earth, being involved in the cosmos. And there is order in the cosmos, as we see by monthly updates possibly, and by looking at your own birth chart. You can actually see that there is huge order in our environment, in our lives. Things are not random. So each month, as part of that beautiful order, we have a new moon, and then we have a full moon 2 weeks later. So we are headed towards a new moon in the sign of Cancer on the 17th of July. In South Africa, that'll be at about 6:20 in the evening, but you'll need to look to see where that happens in your own country because it does change. And just reminding you that a new moon is always the start of a new cycle. So it starts at new moon where the sun and the moon come together. If you look at it symbolically, the sun represents the masculine. It's the outward energy. It's the energy that actually lights us up. It's how we shine our energy. And the moon is how we receive the light from the sun. The moon is the feminine energy. So every new moon, the sun and the moon come together at the same degree in a different sign. This month it's Cancer. Cancer is what we call a cardinal water sign. What is cardinal and what is water? Well, cardinal energy, this is very cardinal, this new moon, because we have 4 corners of cardinal energy showing up. So what does that mean? Well, cardinal energy is the energy for new beginnings, new starts. It's an initiating, pioneering, brave, courageous energy. So all cardinal signs have that energy in them, but they express differently. So if you look at cardinal Cancer, which is a water sign, you say, okay, what is cardinal Cancer? Well, it relates to the first water. So if you can imagine a spring shooting out of a mountain, that's cardinal water. It's powerful, it's new, it's fresh, it doesn't carry any baggage, it moves. It's clear water, okay? That's cardinal. There's a fresh energy, but it's water. What's water? Water is emotional. It's nurturing. It nourishes us. Without water, we would die. It nourishes our earth. Without water, plants would die. So water is the nourishing feminine energy that nurtures. So Cancer, the sign of Cancer, is actually symbolized by the breasts because it symbolizes motherhood, nurturing, giving of milk. It's a giving energy. Now, when the sun and the moon are together in Cancer, the sun spends a month in Cancer every year, around about this time, and the moon only spends a few days every month in Cancer. And they come together at new moon. So it intensifies the energy because there's 2 luminaries, which is the sun and the moon, in the same sign. Opposite the sun and the moon, as I said, we have Pluto, the planet of transformation. It's the evolutionary planet. It's related to the soul's evolution. So this new moon is pretty potent because of that connection. Plus, we also have Pluto in what we call a square. So it's in a right angle to the nodes of the moon, which is the destiny karmic axis. So I'm seeing this new moon as bringing in a fresh, new, nurturing energy. So a sensitized energy. So leading up to a new moon, we're always letting go of whatever we need to let go of. We're clearing. And then at new moon, we start something new. We plant seeds. Now, at a Cancer new moon, you might find emotions are coming up, especially with Pluto involved. You might find that old insecurities around family, home, finances, security, emotional instabilities might come up. Old worries and concerns might come up. Old patterns might come up. Old family patterns might come up. You might find yourself going over something which you've been over before and thinking, I think I've done this, but here it is again. So what happens at a new moon like this with Pluto involved is that Pluto kind of goes underneath the surface and lifts up the earth and says, okay, what's still there to be cleared? Because you guys are moving into a new phase, into a new vibration, a new frequency, and you don't want to be carrying through with you all your old baggage. So this, with all the combinations that I'm talking about, really does represent what I'm seeing as an evolutionary shift. This has been happening for a long time. This is part of the awakening process. It's part of us moving into a different phase of our consciousness, but this is kind of one of the pivotal points. And most astrologers would be talking about this and have been talking about this, that July is one of those key points. It can be a turning point on your own journey and collectively as well. So what kind of themes come up at this time? If you look at Cancer as the sign of birthing and motherhood, I would say to ask yourself what wants to be birthed at this time. And what do you need to clear in order to make space for this new birth to actually happen? So you're preparing, as if you were preparing the arrival of a baby. What would you do? You would make space, you would put a room together, you would decorate it, you would get yourself organized to welcome in this new life. And I'm seeing this as welcoming in the new life. At the same time, looking at any patterns that are coming up for you, not with irritation or frustration, but seeing them as these need to come up, they need to be felt, processed, and released. So I was having a conversation with someone this morning. We were saying these old patterns need to come up. We need to feel them, but not necessarily believe the stories that we tell ourselves about those patterns. So maybe anger's coming up for you. It's not to tell yourself a story about the anger. It's just to see, there's still anger there about that, or there's just this anger inside me, or there's sadness, or there's a feeling of fear about the future, or regret about the past. So just allow whatever comes up at this time to come up for you. So Cancer is the nurturer. It's saying hold space for the feelings that are coming up for you and be responsible for your own feelings. So own your own feelings. So that is where Capricorn comes in, which is opposite this. In Pluto is opposite the new moon in Cancer. That's where Capricorn comes in, because Capricorn says, where do you need to take responsibility? So it's not about blaming somebody else for our unhappiness or our sadness or our anger. It's about saying, this is my journey. This is my soul journey. If I'm in a situation right now that might be uncomfortable, maybe I need this for my soul's evolution. And how can this situation that I'm finding myself in, how might it be evolving me? How might it be adding to my growth and helping me to evolve into my true potential? Now, the other part of this is that, as I mentioned, we have the North Node and the South Node, which are actually changing signs. The last time that this nodal axis shifted into the sign of Aries and Libra was in 2004, from 2004 December to June 2006. So think back to yourself, think back to your life then and what was going on there. You might find that there's some clearing to do pertaining to that period. So really look at that and just see what was going on for me then. Am I still carrying anything? Am I still carrying any baggage from there? Can I let it go? And can I just release it? So release it before the new moon, if you can, so that you've actually cleared that field. The time before that would have been April 86 to December 87. So that might also have a link back if you're old enough to remember there, or if you were born then, it could actually link back to that as well. So these cycles are quite long. Now, when we have a nodal axis shift, which is happening now, literally on the day of the new moon, and it's in an alignment with Pluto, that is an evolutionary shift. You could call it a quantum leap if you liked. But we've got to show up for it. It's not just going to come and happen. We have to be aware. So our awakening happens from awareness. So we become aware of our patterns. We become aware of what's holding us back. We let go, we clear, so that we can actually move into a new phase. Now, whenever there's a nodal shift, it basically shifts into a new sign, and that new sign shift actually will give us an idea about what to expect in the next 18 months, which is basically where the nodes are going to be. and which will also inform where the eclipses are going to be, because the nodes are connected with the eclipses. So the eclipses over the next 18 months are going to be falling on that axis as well of Aries and Libra. So what is Aries and Libra? Well, Aries, which is where the north node of destiny is the warrior energy. It's brave. It's saying what's new and ready to be reborn. So this is, again, it's another confirmation of this birth theme. What do you want? What are you waiting for? I would say, what are you scared of? And if you're scared of something, maybe it's time to just do it. Maybe it's time to look at the fear, but actually do it anyway. There was a beautiful book that was written years ago, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway, by a woman called Susan Jeffers, I think. Feel the fear and do it anyway. What if you could actually face your fear and move through that? So we've had a period for the last 18 months where we've been looking at our values, looking at what's really important to us. We've all been through a lot of transformation, and now there's a readiness to kind of start something new. It's quite an active energy. It's quite a leadership energy. It's quite a pioneering energy. We now move into, if we're prepared for it, a sovereign state where we actually stand up for ourselves and say, right, who am I now, and how can I move more confidently into the world? How can I shine my light even brighter than before? And I see with everything that's going on our planet that there's never been a better time for us each to stand as responsible adults to actually take responsibility for our lives and show up in whatever way we show up. Whether that's as a nurturer, whether it's as a business person, whether it's as a coach or a healer or a musician, or whatever way your light shines the brightest. What are you prepared to commit to actually move more into the direction of your own individuality and your own sovereignty? And that obviously comes always from the heart space, because we're moving from head to heart here. We're actually moving from this, especially with this Cancerian moon, from a very heart-based, open, vulnerable state into the new. So we're planting these beautiful seeds. The other thing about the nodal axis shift is that it's up to us, each of us, standing as sovereign beings and standing together as community. That's been a theme for a number of years now, but it's becoming more and more relevant as we move through these changing times. As I've mentioned in my past podcast, you can look back if you would like to look, Pluto is moving into a new sign. As this nodal shift is happening, and they are activating each other. So Pluto is moving into a new sign, which is Aquarius, and it hasn't been there for 248 years. So these are new beginnings and new changes that we do not know what's going to happen. So how do we navigate them? We navigate them by being present in our own power, shining our light from our hearts. That's the way I see it. That's the way I'm processing it as much as I can. So whatever you're scared of, what if you were able to move through that fear? Because freedom is on the other side of fear, but you need to move through it. So what would you do? What project would you take on? What project would you begin? What would you say, yes, this is me for? What would you actually commit to if there was no fear? That's what Aries asks us. Aries is new beginnings. It's cardinal fire, which is a spark of light, and says, right, let's light this fire. Let's get things going. Let's get things moving. It's quite quick energy that's actually coming in. But there's also this communal energy as well. And at the same time of that, there's a lot of water. Remember, water in astrology represents nurturing and nourishing. But remember too, that it's also sensitive. It's vulnerable. We feel things at a deep level. As you would know if you've got water signs in your chart, which many of you may have, you feel things. You feel things. Sometimes there's a wave, and sometimes the wave recesses. It's a bit like the sea. It's unpredictable. It's feminine. Emotions are not predictable and they're not linear. And Cancer, at this time of the year, we feel that. We feel that things aren't linear and that we just need to actually surf those waves as opposed to trying to direct them and control them. We need to be very present and open to change as we navigate the changes that are ahead. And I've said it before, strengthen your taproot. Bring yourself into presence 100 times a day if you need to. Just bring yourself into now. If a fear comes up about the future, breathe and come back to now. Just now, just this moment, this breath. If you're feeling unsupported and insecure and concerned, bring yourself back into the now. Right now, I am supported. I am held. I am protected. I am safe. Those are Cancerian words that will help you to actually feel into that safer, more secure place. So big times of transformation. I think that if you aren't doing any inner work, this is the time to do it. If you haven't done it, if you have done it, but you've gone away from it, this is the time to come back to it, because things are changing, and things are changing rapidly in our world. My partner and I, John, are launching a Journey to Freedom course. If you don't know about it, please check it out. We start on the 20th of July, and it is a real opportunity to do everything that I've been talking about here. This is our evolutionary journey. This is our transformation. This is our awakening. Our website is called journeysofawakening.com. Our journey, our 13-week online journey, is called Journey to Freedom. In that journey to freedom, we literally go through different aspects of our life each week, and we clear and we connect and we heal. That's what it's about. It's actually a journey back into your heart, into who you truly are, so that you can actually move forward and step into your true liberated potential. So please look at that. You can join us for the first week for free. We have 2 Zoom calls. We have creative exercise, lots happening in that week. Join us for free. You can sign up on our site, journeysofawakening.com, and the link is below. So please join us for that. The other thing I want to say is this is a commitment to ourselves. This whole evolutionary shift. It's not about blame. It's not about judgment. It's about knowing that we're all in this together. We're all walking each other home. None of us are ahead or behind. If you don't understand where I'm at, that's okay. If I don't understand where you are, that's okay. This is about unifying. It's about finding tribe. It's about finding connection and community with people that we are on the same page with. Building community. This is also about taking back our power as humanity, as human beings, from authority. So while Pluto was moving through Capricorn, it was very outer driven. This is the last 20 years. Top-down structures telling you what to do and giving you the illusion of security. The banks are secure, the insurance companies are secure, the medical profession is secure. And what we're discovering is that that's not necessarily the case, and that we actually need to find our sense of security and our sense of authority inside, not outside. And we can't rely on the outer world to give us a sense of security. I watched a beautiful interview the other day with Zach Bush, DG Blue, and a guy called Richard, who was, I think, the writer of the Gene Keys. It was a fascinating discussion. Maybe I'll put a link in below for you for that. It's a really, really worthwhile listening, especially at these times. And they were discussing transformation, and they were actually talking about the dragonfly, which I was unaware of, but it's another symbol of transformation, and it's very applicable to now. So what I learned, and I'm learning a little bit of knowledge of it, is that the dragonfly actually lays eggs in fresh water, and that's called the nymph stage of the dragonfly's journey. And once it's actually starts to mature, it then climbs up onto a rock or onto a plant and starts to actually drop its shell, its encasing, and it kind of breaks free, and that's when it becomes this adult dragonfly who then breathes air and is able to fly. So it's a similar story to the caterpillar that spins the cocoon and comes out a butterfly. There's so many analogies in nature of transformation. The other part of this new moon is that what I also discovered quite recently is that Cancer is the crab, as we probably know, and that we carry Cancer teaches us that we carry our shells on our back, that we are already home. There's nowhere else to go. We've got the shell. We've got our security within us. We're not going to get it from anywhere else. And when we look elsewhere for it, we're going to come up short because it's not out there. It's inside. And what Cancer teaches us as well is that there is a crab which actually gets to a point where it actually outgrows its shell and it sheds its shell. And that, I think, is what is happening with us. I think we are shedding the shells that we no longer fit. We are shedding the old so that we can actually move into the new. And with that, I pulled a card. And as life would have it, I pulled the card, the Cosmic Egg, which I have pulled before a couple of times this year. And it's amazing. I mean, it was one of those that jumped out the pack again. It's from the pack The Divine Feminine by Megan Watterson. And it is the Divine Feminine. That's what the Cosmic Egg is, which is very much related to Cancer. The message is, I hold the universe within me. I am the force of an ever-expanding love. The cosmic egg is the core symbol of the divine feminine's creative force. It is a spiritual motif found in the creation myths of countless cultures and civilizations. It represents a birth, a new beginning, or an expansion of life. Things are not random. There's a whole lot more about it. When your soul selects this card, nothing needs to happen. Everything is exactly as it should be. You hold the universe inside you. Think of the dragonfly that changes from a nymph into an adult completely. Think of the caterpillar that changes completely into a butterfly. The life is contained there in the beginning already. You hold the universe inside you. All life emerges from within. If you try to exert pressure for something to exist before it's ready, the new life within you will not have the time it needs to fully form. The cosmic egg is the essence of the divine feminine. It's the ultimate symbol of the creative force that exists within each of us. It's the dark, loving womb that holds and protects all creative expressions of life. And this new moon is very dark and womby. It's beautiful. It's a time where you can really go within and plant those seeds. If we allow what's within us to emerge in divine timing, then what is within us will transform us. The egg is the trust that what is ours can never be taken from us. So there's no need to answer the ego's push to rush the process or on someone else's timeline. The egg is the faith that our process is sacred, that even in the midst of what looks like chaos or delay or even death, there's a tendril of new life that needs only our trust to eventually take form. And the egg is the knowing that life begins again after death from within. So that's a beautiful confirmation of this new moon. Where am I ready to expand is the soul voice meditation. And I'm going to repeat the other one that I gave you is, what is ready in me to be birthed? What am I ready to birth into existence? The intention is, I hold the universe within me. I am the force of an ever-expanding love. Isn't that beautiful? This is really big times, beautiful times, powerful times. Stay in your heart. This is how we get through this together. Support somebody if they need support. Open your heart. Open your heart to yourself as well, to your own journey. Be compassionate. You know, we're all in this. And, you know, we all may be babies in this process right now. We're all learning as we go. So allow yourself to make mistakes every now and then. Forgive yourself like you would a little toddler if they messed up or they fell down when they were trying to walk. So be kind to yourself and others and just stay in the heart. If you would like to explore this very big shift with me, you're welcome to get hold of me in the link below. I'll put my website below. And please subscribe and click the notification bell if this resonated with you, and share if it was helpful. These are big times. We just need to show up and be us. Just be you. Open. Get rid of the armor. Get rid of the shell. Drop it. It doesn't serve you. And just move into that beautiful essence of who you are. Thank you for listening. Have a beautiful new moon, and I hope you get some time out to plant some beautiful new seeds. Thank you.